Thanks for listening to the Clive Barker Podcast, the only podcast dedicated to the imagination of Clive Barker. In episode 390, Jose and Ryan cover all the Barker and Hellraiser-related news since the start of 2023. This episode is sponsored by Don Bertram's Celebrate Imagination. Don Bertram is a longtime friend of Clive and advocate of his art, but Don's unique and inspiring paintings are for sale, and over 50% of the proceeds go to the Arts and Medicine program at Texas Children's Cancer Center. Click the side banner and follow the link to the Etsy shop where the artwork has returned from the local galleries. Check out his newest untitled piece with baby elephants, available to buy now. Well, welcome. This is episode 390 of the Clive Barker Podcast. And this is, for it's been a while since we've put up an episode that was from this year.
Right. Yeah. So here we are, 2023. It's already February where we're recording this.
It's the great gray beast of February.
Yes, that ate Harvey Swick whole.
Yeah.
It's there's been a lot of interesting stuff happening lately. A lot of blog posts that are being prepared to be posted where you guys are probably going to see it around this weekend. But we got some news from the Reef, right, Ryan?
Yeah. And the first one, this is kind of an older one, but we haven't had a news episode this year yet. So this is from January 15th. Issue 65 of High Fructose magazine featured Clive Barker art and an interview with Phil and Sarah Stokes. So if you see that magazine, you might want to pick it up.
Yeah, it's an art magazine. It's a contemporary art magazine, and I actually looked at my shelf, and I do have 3 or 4 of those that I bought in previous times.
Oh.
One of them was edited by Iggy Pop, so I bought that one because I'm an Iggy Pop fan. And and there were a few others that I bought here and there at Barnes & Noble. It's a big magazine. It's always glossy, full of great art inside. So I can't wait to look for this one at my local magazine shop because I know there's a place around here that has High Fructose magazine. So I got to check it out. I didn't know that this one was going to have Clive Barker inside. I might have already held it in my hand, but I didn't buy it.
Oh, yeah, because it's not on the cover.
Right.
Yeah.
But, I haven't had a chance to read it. But if I go out today, and I'm probably planning on going out to that bookstore, I might be able to grab a copy and let you know what I think.
Yay. Yeah, that would be cool. I don't know if we have a Barnes & Noble, but I don't know if it would have that or not.
I think it should. High Fructose magazine used to be on Barnes & Noble when I lived in Arizona. So depending on if it gets on the barge.
Yeah, right. So Little Spark Films, we want to do a shout out to them again, of course, but they have reorganized their Hellbound Laments page so that it not only features all of their Hellbound Laments short films, but they also link to all the times that they've been on our podcast and talking about Hellraiser and stuff. And they've got a link to Jericho Squad YouTube channel. Yeah, shout out to you guys. Thanks so much. This is cool. And it's a really neat looking page. It's got kind of a honeycomb of images and stuff too on there.
A great page from our very own squad members, Ralph and Musette.
Yeah. Oh, and Barker and Briefs. There's a Barker and Briefs section down at the bottom there where Catalina reads Barker stories and stuff.
Yeah, she recently rearranged her Linktree links, and I think she's taking things in a new direction for certain plans that she's got for this year. Yeah. I think Barker and Briefs has come to an end. She started that as kind of a pandemic project. Yeah. But you can still get to listen to her read Books of Blood stories, Cabal, I believe, right?
Yeah,
she read Cabal, the novel.
And the Hellbound Heart and A to Z of Horror.
Yeah, what a pleasurable experience it is to watch Catalina read those stories to you, and looking good while she does it.
Yeah. This is a really cool redesign of this section of their website, and it features us, so we're really happy and proud to continue to work with them.
Yeah, and you guys need to check The Torture because it's on Amazon Prime now. So if you check it out, it's got Paul T. Taylor, and it's called The Torture on Amazon Prime. It's also on Plex and Tubi TV, right?
Yeah, and when you're watching it, watch out for a Clive Barker Podcast T-shirt.
Yeah. There's a cameo.
Yeah. This is just another shout-out because we've actually talked about this news on the podcast before. But Days of the Dead Las Vegas is coming up soon, if you have any chance at all to go to that, you really should, because this is like the most Hellraiser actors I've ever seen in a convention at one time.
Oh, yes. You're going to have Simon Bamford, Barbie Wilde, Doug Bradley, and Nicholas Vince are going to be there from February 17th through the 19th of 2023. And I think Peter Atkins is going to be there too, right? Let me check.
And Andrew Robinson and Terry Farrell. And I think Valentina Vargas, I'm scrolling through, I don't see her yet, but if I remember right, I think she's there too. That
sounds like a plan.
Valentina Vargas and Claire Higgins.
Wow. Kim Myers from A Nightmare on Elm Street 2, but also from Hellbound, right? Bloodline.
Bloodline, yeah. She was the wife of Merchant, I think.
Yes. Wow. Yeah, Kim Myers is going to be there. It's going to be a Hellraiser 1, 2, and 4 extravaganza. And 3.
And Heather Langenkamp, right? So people are going to say, what's that got to do? But she had a bit part in Hellraiser Judgment.
That's right. I completely forgot about that. Holy crap.
And of course, the main reason I would want to go, I mean, I really, really thought about it, but I can't do it. But the main reason I'd want to go is to meet Peter Atkins in person.
I thought you were going to say to meet Tim Capello, the guy who is playing on stage in the Lost Boys movie, because he's going to be there too.
Oh, that saxophone guy?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, gosh. It's amazing the claim to fame that some actors get to have. It's funny. Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what he did after that.
I don't know.
What direction did his life, saxophone guy? What direction did his life go?
Yeah, we'd have to check that out for Tim Capello on IMDb.
He's definitely the most famous saxophone vampire.
Sure. Yeah. Hey, he actually got his IMDb pulled up while we were talking. So let's see. He's known for The Lost Boys, Rolling Vengeance, Tina Turner, We Don't Need Another Hero music video. Oh, yeah, that's from the Mad Max Thunderdome thing.
Thunderdome, yeah. But he wasn't in the movie, though.
No, it's in the music video, yeah.
I wonder if he's actually playing saxophone or just pretending to play saxophone.
Well, I mean, people in music videos are pretending to play most of the time.
But I wonder if he can play the saxophone.
Yeah, I would suppose so. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know anything about it's lucky.
I don't know what his band is.
It's lucky that this isn't the Tim Capello podcast because we don't know anything about him.
Wait, people will be shutting down the episode now and be disgusted at our lack of knowledge of Tim Capello.
Oh, man.
But I think
I would love to meet Ken Foree from Dawn of the Dead, too. That would be really cool.
Oh, yeah. And From Beyond, right? Yeah. So I think Tim Capello has done recently a TV show that has a lot of accolades called Reservation Dogs. He plays himself in the episode, apparently. He was in one episode.
I watched that show, but I don't remember that.
Yeah, he's in one episode. Season 2, episode 10, I Still Believe.
Have you seen that show?
No, not yet, but I've heard good things about it.
So there are a couple of a couple of little people in that show. And I saw them at the Anchorage Hotel where I was staying. They were checking out when I was checking in.
Nice.
Yeah, they ride around the neighborhood on bicycles and they try to give out like their rap tapes that they made.
So we're talking about tiny bicycles, right?
I think they're regular sized bicycles.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I got to watch Reservation Dogs. I've heard a lot of good stuff about it.
It's a good show.
And we're turning into the Tim Capello podcast right now.
Yeah.
So going back to Hellraiser, so you're going to have Peter Atkins, who wrote the script for Hellraiser 2, 3, and 4, and Wishmaster, and all his novels and stuff. Yeah. So that's going to be a great opportunity to meet him because, we've had a kind of a dry season with all these years where no conventions were actually happening. So this is your chance. Bring your posters, bring your items as a chance to get them signed and framed and look at those squiggles every day and cherish the day that you met all those people at once.
And I think Lori is going to this, right? Lori Bichet, who is in our Jericho Squad game. She's going to this to hang out with Simon Bamford, and she'll get to meet all these people, and I'm sure she'll be doing cosplay because she always does.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. I wish I could go.
I do too. Well, yeah, you got married in Las Vegas.
I did, yes, at the Mandalay Bay Casino.
Yeah.
Good memories. But now I live in Ohio, so this would be way out there for me to go to Las Vegas. But
same for me.
If you guys go, please send us pictures and let us know what you thought. And if you record any videos, send us the YouTube links. We'd love to watch it.
Yeah. Speaking of Days of the Dead, you just brought this to my attention because Kyle Hart had pointed it out. William Hope, who was Kyle in Hellbound, right, will be at a different Days of the Dead. So Days of the Dead, Houston on September 19th. I wrote 91 on the notes. September 19th. Yeah, he was the cowardly, lieutenant guy on Aliens.
And he did Terminator Resistance. He was in the video game for Terminator Resistance. He plays Mac in the video game. And I think he was also in a Sandman podcast playing Dr. John D. Yeah, Dr. Destiny.
Oh, the Sandman, the audiobooks where they're acted out?
Yeah, the podcast series, right.
Yeah, I've been meaning to listen to those, but I haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, it was adapted by Dirk Maggs, and he's done a really good job. So yeah, William Hope is going to be there. So you can come up to his booth and hold up a pill and say, "How about you take one of these?"
Yeah, or say, "Jesus, he must have been into this shit for years."
Yeah, right. So there's going to be a lot of interesting people there. So if you're going to go, send us pictures.
Yeah. Oh, he can go up to Julia and she can say, or to Claire Higgins and she can say, "By the way, I'm Julia." Oh, actually, no, because they're at different conventions.
Yes, that's going to be in Houston, and Claire Higgins is going to be in Las Vegas. But
so that might make it a little difficult, and they're on different times.
Yeah, but there's more news about Hellraiser. This is a little old now, but if you were at the IMATS Museum, you could have seen the Cenobite display by RussellFX, and these were the Cenobites from Hellraiser 2023.
Yeah,
and they looked pretty amazing. They were full-size statues of the Cenobites, most of them. I mean, there was a few that weren't there. I think the mother wasn't there, and I forgot which one. The Gasp wasn't there. Oh, but you got the Chatter, you got the Hell Priest, you got Asphyx, the Weeper, and you can see a full-size display of Void with his arms open, kind of leaning against a big table. Which, by the way, that table got sold. Remember a while ago, like last year, there was like an auction where they were selling some props and costumes from the Hellraiser movie, among other things. Yeah. Someone bought that table where Void is at the end, and he's laying there, and then it opens up like a cross or an angel kind of wings, and his arms come up. That thing was sold in that auction. And
I should have looked at that auction more closely, because the stuff I saw advertised were like, oh, this was the purse used by this character. And it's like, oh, okay.
I don't want to lie, but I think I remember I was talking to Ed about that auction, and he said something about some guy bought it for $800.
The table?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know if the mechanism was included with it or if there was even a mechanism, but definitely some guy bought that table, and of course they had to pay like auction fees and then pay shipping, which is probably not cheap.
I wouldn't have space for something like that unless it became like my dinner table. Yeah.
I don't know if you guys checked out that IMATS display, but those were amazing statues. At first, when I saw pictures, I thought, oh, okay, so he made little statuettes and put them on a display. But then I saw a picture of someone standing next to them, and I was like, holy crap, this thing is like huge.
Yeah, they're full-sized.
Yeah.
And they look amazing. They look alive. They don't look like mannequins or anything.
Right. I think Ed is not going to be mad that I say this, but I think he's been talking to the RussellFX people again, and because if you've been listening to our podcast, you know that the Ed Martinez YouTube channel put out this video of like a couple of hours or something of talking about the behind the scenes effects for Hellraiser with RussellFX, and they had plenty of pictures to show. And recently they told him that for this IMATS display, I think that the Hell Priest face, it's actually an appliance put on top of a bust, and then they had to cast that whole thing together, and they created the facial makeup for the statue. Well, but I'm sure
these look really good.
Yeah, I'm sure when his interviews come out again on his YouTube channel, there's going to be a lot more detail and a lot more information about how they did that. Yeah. But what a great display.
Yeah. And one thing about his Ed's interview that I was thinking about recently is that we talked about this, that he had like 49,000 hits on there, and it's probably more now. And the comments were overwhelmingly positive. So that made me think about, the reception of this movie. We see such a vocal minority of people that hate that movie. And it kind of gets me down reading that stuff. Yeah. But then seeing all the comments and all the interaction, that Ed got from his video makes me realize that those people really are just a vocal, loud minority. And that I think for the most part, most people were impressed by this movie.
Sure. Yeah. And I don't think that some people hate the movie. They just kind of reject it on it's I don't know, man. It's like this kind of cred, Hellraiser fan cred, like, oh, I'm not going to watch this one because it's a reboot or it's a remake,
or it's woke because they used a female actress to play or a trans actor.
Sure, I'm sure people have their reasons to stay away from this movie, but give it a chance, man. It's really good. Nobody's gonna come and stick needles in your eyes to force you to watch it. Give it a chance, and or maybe it's your thing. I don't know. Maybe you want to have needles put in your eyes.
And if you go in there thinking, okay, I'm ready for the remake of Hellraiser, and you sit down and watch it, and it's not a remake of Hellraiser, you're like, what? They did a terrible job. There's not even any Kirsty in there.
Yeah. But, I want to focus on the positive, and I want to focus on the love for this movie, and this definitely was a very impressive thing for people to see at IMATS.
I loved it. I mean, my point was just that it was never a remake, and people went in there mistakenly believing that it was.
Right, and it's also not kind of necessarily a direct sequel to the other movies. Yeah. So it's its own thing, and it uses the mythology in a good way, I thought. But
I still imagine it as a sequel to Hellbound, right? When all the other, the original Cenobites were wiped out, and this was the new group and the new puzzle boxes and the new rules and everything.
Sure, why not? Yeah. I mean, you in your mind you can do whatever you want, but one of the things I want to see is more stuff coming out, not necessarily toys or figurines, but more stuff coming out, merchandising for the movie, because I didn't see a lot of merchandising. However, there is something that I'm not sure we spoke about this already on the podcast, but Mondo, you might remember those soundtracks they put out a few years ago for Hellraiser 1 and 2, and I think 3. Was it just 1 and 2, or was it 1, 2, and 3? I think 1 and 2 for sure, they did that.
Yeah, I can't remember if 3's in there or not.
Yeah, but they're putting out a double album for the Hellraiser 2023 score, and it looks amazing, and it's in the same kind of theme. So you got the profile image of the Hell Priest, and in the other versions that they did for the first and second Hellraiser, you got these chains coming out the back of like Pinhead. In this one, it's these like red bloody straps coming out from behind, like skin straps coming out from behind the Hell Priest, and we see the profile of the shoulders and face, and it looks amazing.
And it shows the kind of like cylindrical bolts through her neck like she has.
Right. Yeah, good catch there. Yeah. It's a beautiful cover, and it's probably done by the same artist, and it's another one to put on the shelf next to the amazing scores of Hellraiser 1 and 2.
It's $40 from the Mondo shop online. And I imagine it's a limited number are being released.
Yeah, and this is released in conjunction.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the cover is by Matt Tobin. It's being put out in conjunction with Lakeshore Records, because you might remember Lakeshore also put out their own releases of the Hellraiser and Hellbound soundtracks. Yeah. But Mondo always makes these really cool covers. And disc 1 is a gold and black swirl in the vinyl, if you're getting the vinyl. And disc 2 is the red and white galaxy, and they look amazing. Yeah,
it looks really nice.
I might pre-order this one.
I don't even have a record player, so I probably will buy them like on iTunes.
Yeah, you could do that too.
Yeah. I used to buy all this stuff so that we could insert, little stings and things into the podcast, but then, we were afraid we were going to start getting in trouble for doing that. So we quit doing that a long time ago.
Yeah. You can listen to it right now. Love It soundtrack for Hellraiser. You can listen to it on Spotify, I believe. Oh. It's already there. You can preview it.
If you subscribe to Spotify.
I'm not sure. I mean, I do have a Spotify Premium, but
Yeah.
you might be able to listen to the soundtrack as well if you're just a regular Spotify user. You might just have to have some ads in the middle.
The only time I've ever looked at Spotify was just to see if our podcast was really in there.
Oh, you don't really use it to listen to music that much? You use iTunes more?
I use my CDs that I saved into my computer and on my phone and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it's a great way to find new music because Spotify has a lot of backlog for a lot of artists.
Yeah.
Send us a check, Spotify.
But I just said I've never used it. So
I use it all the time.
I think they're going to take maybe they'll give us half a check.
Maybe they'll give us half a check. Okay, fine. If it's got the routing numbers, that's all I need.
Yeah. All right, and we had one more that you added here that as you're listening to this on Sunday, February 5th, 2023, Ken Cranham is going to be in the performing in The Soldier play, right?
Right. So it's a poetry of Kipling, Sassoon, Owen, and Auden, a selection of poems which explore the poignant experience of being a human in times of war. So he's going to be at the Marylebone Theatre in London.
So you UK listeners should check this out.
Yeah, it's a theater close to the Regent's Park. So it's Marylebone Theatre, and it's going to be today, as you're listening to this, February 5th. Yeah. So I'm guessing if you're listening to this, you either already went to it or you already bought tickets to it. Yeah. Again, send us anything you have. If you have a picture or a video you'd like to share, or if you took you got to meet Kenneth Cranham at the end of the show, give us a holler. We'd love to hear about it.
We've really been enjoying his performances in the Dark Ditties movies. I mean, obviously Hellraiser 2. But more recently in the Dark Ditties short films that have all the Hellbound cast in them.
Yeah, Mr. Benoit.
Yeah.
It's always great to see Ken Cranham in anything that he does.
And some other parts, too.
Yep.
I'm jealous of anybody that gets to go see that. Well, coming up next, our very next thing, we're going to be recording Jericho Squad. We were supposed to do it last weekend, but, we had some sickness and stuff, and so it's like any other Dungeons & Dragons game. As soon as everybody's ready to go, somebody says they can't make it.
It's the Cassius curse.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, we're going to be recording that next week, and then probably it'll be aired the following week because those things take me a long time to edit. And then we're going to be doing A to Z commentaries, Z for Zombie, and our first one would be Dawn of the Dead. And we all kind of need to get together and figure out which version of Dawn of the Dead we're going to talk about, because it's like Blade Runner. There's a whole bunch of different cuts of the movie.
No kidding.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's the European cut, and there's the U.S. theatrical cut, there's the director's cut, and there's like the super extended cut. Oh,
geez, we gotta make an editorial decision there. Maybe go for the one that's the most well known or popular.
Well, and they all have different endings. But I think, you know what? I'm probably thinking if Ed is going to be there, we should probably stick to the U.S. theatrical cut, since he doesn't get to go back and watch it again.
Right. Yeah.
And that's the one that everybody knows. It's tricky because they have different endings and stuff depending on which one you watch.
Huh. Now I'm curious about that because I don't think I've seen a lot of versions of it. I think I've only seen probably the theatrical version.
Yeah.
So now you got my interest piqued.
Yeah, because I got that box set that has all the different versions in it, and I never saw that again on like Blu-ray or 4K yet. So I didn't want to upgrade until I actually had the same kind of set that I have.
All right.
Yeah.
I'd love to see zombies surrounding people in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. So
yeah.
And we're talking, of course, the Romero version, not the Zack Snyder version.
Yeah. And then there's that inexplicable scene where the guy stops to put his arm in the blood pressure machine while they're all being attacked by zombies.
Hey, he's just trying to stay healthy.
Yeah.
Healthcare on the run.
Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, so then we're going to have more classic commentaries and more regular commentaries. So the classic ones we're bringing them back and giving them proper episode numbers and putting them in the episode hierarchy.
Yep.
We'll be doing an art episode, Visions of Heaven and Hell, pretty soon.
Yeah, we're just waiting on the book to arrive because there's been some issues with getting that book from Portugal, but I think it's on the way.
Yay!
It got sent, then it got returned due to bad address, and now it's being sent back to me again. So,
oh my God! Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
it did.
Oh, the pain.
I know, but it's fine.
Yeah.
At least it didn't get lost because it would have been hard for me to replace the books that were being sent to me, including some of the Memory, Prophecy, and Fantasy by Phil and Sarah Stokes, which are now 1 and 2 at least are out of stock. So that would have been hard to replace. So I'm glad that they weren't lost and just went back to the sender, and now the sender is sending them back to me again from Portugal.
All right.
So, yep.
Okay. Well, and this podcast, having no beginning, will have no end. Thank you for joining us, and we hope you have subscribed. You can find the Clive Barker Podcast wherever you find audio. Show notes for this episode, as well as news and reviews, can be found at our website at www.clivebarkercast.com. The Clive Barker Podcast, or BarkerCast, is an independent editorial podcast and blog that is not affiliated with or under contract by Clive Barker or Seraphim Inc. This is a labor of love by the fans for the fans. Watch for our annual Kickstarter fundraisers to get some cool stuff, and you can buy t-shirts on our TeePublic store. Go to tpublic.com and search for BarkerCast.
Thanks for listening.